Hello everyone, I hope you're okay. I just want to send out a short message with regard to Tisha B'Av, which starts this evening. That's the evening of tonight, the 29th, and carries on through until tomorrow night. It starts at 12 minutes past 9, and like Yom Kippur, it's a full day fast. It's one of the most important fasts of our calendar, and it goes through until tomorrow at 10:05 p.m. Other than the regular restrictions of the 9 days, Tisha B'Av has further restrictions as we really focus on the terrible things that happened on this day throughout Jewish history. In particular, of course, the destruction of the two temples. And therefore, besides for being a fast, i.e. not eating, we also try to remove ourselves from other pleasures. So we continue with the restrictions of the 9 days, and then we also don't bathe, we don't do things which are joyous or relaxing. Until midday we sit, if possible, low to the ground, and we recite Kinnis, Lamentations, and the Book of Lamentations, and other poems and powerful words that were written over the centuries, over the terrible tragedies that happened to the Jewish people, including, of course, the Holocaust and the Crusades, and many, many other terrible massacres and events that took place through our years of exile. It's very hard for us to understand what it means not to have a temple, because we never had one. So how can we relate to the idea of being in mourning on this day? So I heard a good parable recently, and it said, imagine if electricity was shut off. The entire world suddenly suffered this this outage of electricity, and that was it was gone. And of course, everything we know, the world as we know it, wouldn't exist. Everything, more or less, runs through electricity. There'd be no street lights, and cars wouldn't work, the lamps wouldn't work. And this video, I won't be able to communicate with you, and all the people you call through your phones would no longer, you'd be able to contact them. The whole world would move to a much different and very sort of dark place. And yes, we would survive. We would have perhaps candle lights and live in a very sort of basic way, but the world as we know it would be irrevocably changed. And that's the same idea. When the temple was destroyed, we're told Shari Tefillah, the gates of prayer, were closed. In other words, the connection between us and Hashem was severed. Hashem, we're told, took himself out of this world. He had a presence in the temple that was the base Hashem, the house of Hashem, and anyone who went there could gain inspiration just from being there. And Hashem took himself, so to speak, out of the world. And of course he's still here, and we can reach out to him, but the channels of communication are much, much more difficult for us. But we're told that Shari Dema'ot, the gates of tears, Lo Ninhalu, were never sealed. And it's only through tears, through coming to Hashem with a broken heart and saying, look at the Jews around the world, look at how much anti-Semitism, even 2,000 years after the Golus, we still have to go through. Look at Israel, look at it being a country that has to just justify its existence, has to spend a fortune of its economic growth just on defending its borders, and say to Hashem, bring us back all together, bring us back home, bring us back to no longer being a people who have to suffer, but the people who the whole world will recognize as being your people. The story is told, and I mentioned this a couple of times, about Napoleon, who walked past a shul on Tisha B'Av, and he saw people crying, and he sent his officers to ask what they're crying about. And they explained that it's a day, Tisha B'Av, where we cry for our temple. And he said, when was this destroyed? And they said it was about 18 centuries ago. And he said, wow, and they're still crying. He said, I'm sure that one day they will merit to see that temple again. But we're told that only Kol HaMis Abel Al Yerushalayim, only those who mourn for Jerusalem, will merit to see its joy once again. So therefore I encourage you to take the day seriously, to join Zooms, to come to shul if you can, if not to join us on Zoom in the morning, to fast, to perhaps engage with other related matters, such as perhaps Holocaust-related literature or film. We'll be sending out some resources with this video on an email for programs that you can watch from your own homes, so you can engage with Tisha B'Av through the day of tomorrow. And let us hope and pray that this should be the last Tisha B'Av we ever have to face, and that, please God, we will see the redemption speedily in our days. Thank you.